I agree with the Republicans on this 100%. I know that's a wild ass way. Yeah, I was like, what in the world is this dude talking about? But hey, this is a very important tax topic, okay? If you're selling merchandise, shirts, uh, any type of cash envelopes, if you're doing anything, giving consultant fees, anything where you can receive an electronic payment from a third party, you need to watch this video because there are some tax implications, and there are also two legislative bills, one by the Democrats, one by the Republican, that could impact this and change it for the taxes that we're going to have to file for this calendar year. So stay tuned. Let's dive in. We're talking taxes. Let's get it. Yo, what's good? I'm Marcus. Hey, you're here at DFD's channel. If y'all haven't noticed, I'm putting out a video essentially every day for December. Now, I'm not doing a vlog because I told y'all I never get my angles right and my nostrils be flaring up and I be looking crazy. But, hey, I want to give some finance content every day for the entire month. So that's the goal. That's what I'm trying to do. Now, this is a great video, an important video that you need to watch because it's related to taxes. And all you guys out there who are selling things on Etsy and have shirts and merchandise and give courses, y'all receive payments from third parties, electronic payments, you need to tune into this. Now, I will tell you, I'm a licensed attorney, but this isn't legal or financial advice. I'm just giving y'all my take and opinion, financial education, literacy. If you need a professional, go find a professional in your area. Hey, don't come here with that. Go find a professional for tax or for law or whatever the hell it is you need. I'm actually trying to go through this video without editing because it's just long and I want to get through it. Okay, so we are going to talk about this. This is a tax law related to the 1099K form. What the hell is a 1099K for? So essentially, you see, I got a bunch of notes because it was a lot. But this is the $600 tax rule. In 2021, Democrats passed a bill that made it called the $600 tax rule. What the hell does that mean? That means that if you get paid from a third party any amount $600 or more, you're going to receive a 1099K form. A 1099K form is a form you're going to get from that entity that says this is how much you made. It was over $600. Now, I know y'all thinking, man, $600, this is petty, this is annoying. This rule has been a while for a long time, but the threshold was much higher. The threshold was originally $20,000. Democrats, and I'm saying Democrats because every Democrat in the House and the Senate voted for this bill. The Democrats actually were the party who was responsible for changing this to $600. And so, again, like I said, $600 or more from a third party payment processor for work, services, goods, all of that. Now, if you receive a 1099K, do not ignore it because the entire process is automated. What that means is the third party generates the form, they give the form to you. The government is aware of the 1099K form, and if you fail to include that information because it's automated, you will be getting a letter from the IRS saying that, hey, you have some 1099K income that you didn't report. Your stuff is jacked up. We need our ends. So definitely do not ignore it, okay? This is where it gets kind of interesting, okay? Democrats said that this bill was created and they reduced it to $600 to crack down on wealthy tax cheats. Now, here I'm going to give a little bit of my personal opinion. I don't think this goes towards cracking down on wealthy tax cheats. Honestly, I'm going to just be honest and let's just keep it a buck. I do investigations. I work in federal audits. I'm all in this spectrum right here, in this arena, so to speak. The amount of staff and the salary of staff to handle matters like this is a lot. You got to think, you may have, okay, an investigative team to look into something may have one attorney, two special agents, an auditor, and support staff. All of those people probably making six figures or more. So it's really expensive. It's going to be a burden of resources that the IRS is using to come after people. I personally think is a bad idea because I feel like this is going to really impact the people who are selling things at their garage sale, or they may have an SD shop where they sell a couple of things every month, or somebody trying to get rid of their Pokemon cards or something like that. So I definitely think it misses the ball with what the Democrats said that their intent was to crack down on wealthy tax cheats. Now, where are we right now, and what is up with this legislation that I agree with the Republicans with? Hey, the Democrats realized in hindsight, they got a little bit of buyer's remorse. We may have made a mistake by reducing that threshold from $20,000 to $600 for this 1099K filing. So let's talk a little bit about what is going on, okay? Oh, before I delve into the legislation that's pending, this is another thing that's going to be annoying. A lot of people use things like Tax Act and all of these electronic services to file their taxes online. And in a lot of those services, again, if you're filing with a 1099K because you have received 1099K income, a lot of these services require you to get the upgraded version of the software to be able to file with that 1099K. Because you have that 1099K income. In addition, if you aren't doing your own taxes, you get this additional form. You may have to go out and actually get a professional, not your neighbor or somebody, get a professional to do your taxes. So there is added cost going to people who may have been just selling an old couch or some goods or services or something to that effect. There is a possibility you could get one of these in errors because we know every system is not perfect. You could potentially get one in error. If you get a 1099K in error, remember it's automated. So the IRS is aware that you got this 1099K. I can't tell you all how to approach it, but I'll tell you the way that I would do it if I got one by error and it's by the book and it would be sufficient to meet the standard of what the requirement will be. Okay, if I got one by error, I would actually report that 1099K on my Schedule C. And under the returns and allowance, I would just offset it to offset that 1099K on the section where it talks about returns and allowances so it balances out to zero. And I would submit a written letter along with my return saying that I received this in error. That's how you actually have to approach it. If you're using electronic software, they give you the ability to put an attachment in or attach a note. Because this is the thing that's going to be crazy. If you receive a 1099K in error, the way that the IRS wants you to correct it is by going to the third party who actually sent you that form. You know how difficult that's going to be for me to reach out to who is it, Venmo or PayPal, and say, "Hey, y'all sent me this by error. You guys need to fix it." I'm gonna just be honest. That's probably not gonna happen. There's probably gonna be a lot of headaches. So if you get one in error, I hope you don't. If you do get one in error, let your tax preparer, your tax professional know. There has to be accompanied with a note explaining that you got an error, and you can go back and look at this if you need to recap what the hell I just said. Okay, now the other thing you got to realize with this before we even talk about the legislation is when it comes to the IRS, if now putting the burden on you to have to be able to prove what you paid with receipts for goods you may be selling. Let's just put this into context. Let's say I purchased a weight bench right out here. I'm looking at my weight bench. I purchased this weight bench during the pandemic because I wanted to work on my gains and get swole while I was in the house because nobody was going outside. So I purchased this from somebody. I got a receipt that was 2 years ago. Now I have no clue what the receipt is. If I sell it for $200, oh no, let's say I sold it for $650. Now it triggers this $600 1099K that this third party is going to send me. The burden is on me to prove how much I paid for it. If I can't prove how much I paid for it, there's a possibility that the IRS could say, well, since you can't find a receipt showing what you paid for it, you paid zero, so you made $650 profits, and we need our taxes from that. So it creates an additional burden to have to go back and find receipts from old ass stuff that you may have been selling from years or decades ago. Now, there are two pieces of legislation that are out there currently. The Democrats have one because I told you they got buyer's remorse. And when you hear the names of these bills, you're going to laugh your ass off. Shout out to the Republicans for being creative and kind of cynical and some smart asses. So the Democrats have a bill because they realized they made a mistake. In their bill, they want to increase this to $5,000. And the name of their bill is called Cut Red Tape for Online Sales Act. Okay, so it was originally $20,000 that would trigger this. The Democrats all voted to get it to $600. Now they realize it's a mistake. Now they scrambling to try to get it and pass this legislation to push it back up to $5,000 before this 1099K is triggered. Okay. Now the Republicans have an act, and like I said, I agree with the Republicans. The Republicans actually have a proposed bill where they want to put it back to the $20,000 limit, and the name of their bill is prices. It's the Stop the Nosy Obsession with Online Payments Act. Hey, shout out to them. I like the name. I actually agree with that policy. And so now both sides have until the end of the week of next week to try to resolve this before the end of the session comes and a new Congress comes in. Is this going to get done? It I don't know. I mean, it's the end of the year. I think it's hard to get anybody in Washington to really focus on something. If they can get everybody in to vote and all the Democrats do exactly how they did, they just vote along party lines, then they should, at a minimum, be able to get the $5,000 legislation that they want passed. Me personally, like I said, I actually think that the Republican version of putting it back at $20,000 is more acceptable and putting the onus on people to be truthful on their tax return when they do sell goods and services and make a profit. Um, it's funny because some of the third party servicers out there, like eBay, they've expressed a lot of concerns because now they think that it's going to deter people from using their service, which is plausible. It could just make things more complicated, and people are like, I don't even want to deal with it. Just give me cash. You know what I mean? Go get the cash. Give me the cash is a big deal. So that's one point. And the other thing is that this law, as it stands, does not apply to Zelle transactions because Zelle is not a third party. Zelle is actually a bank to bank transaction. So just some food for thought there. That's it. I wanted to just provide y'all some quick information so y'all could know what was going on in this space. And if y'all selling goods, services, merch, any of that type of stuff, y'all got an awareness of what y'all tax implications or issues may be from this $600 1099K tax rule that we're currently under, that both sides are scrambling trying to rectify before the end of the year. If you like this video, check out the video on the screen. And if you got some value, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, share, hit that bell notification and all that. Peace.